Hey loves! Today we're trying out 3 new complexion products from the Dollar Tree. I was just there and came across these. This was kind of like a spur in the moment video. I was planning a different video today, but when I saw this, I knew I wanted to test it out. This is the Pro Luxe Cosmetics Matte Foundation. I got 2 different shades to see which one is best. From what I saw, this comes in 9 shades total, which is pretty good for the Dollar Tree. I mean, compared to what they usually have, but it was $1.25. And then also got the Camouflage Liquid Concealer from Ioni. There was a couple different shades of this as well. Also $1.25, and I love this brand. And then we have a little Be Pure Gel Grip Face Primer here. Another good brand to try at the Dollar Tree. So grab a snack, get cozy, and let's see if these are worth the money. What I've been doing lately whenever I test out foundations, I'll do primer on one side, no primer on the other, so we can see how it looks. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to start off with the Gel Grip Face Primer, again from Be Pure. The minute I saw this, it reminded me of the Hydro Grip from e.l.f. I think it's just the color. One of you guys actually just DM'd me too that there is a red version of this primer and it's really good. What I always tell you guys is if you want to find the good stuff at Dollar Tree, you got to go to different areas, and honestly better areas will have better stuff at the Dollar Tree. Okay. It feels like a gel. Has a very mild mint smell, but it's not too strong. It actually feels really nice and hydrating on this skin. It's a pretty fast absorbing gel. It doesn't feel like the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. That one, it goes on also like a gel. It's a little bit sticky though and thicker. This one doesn't really have too much of a sticky dry down. I'm gonna let that sit for at least a minute or so to see if there's any type of tacky base. But it definitely enhanced the glow a little bit. It's very subtle, which is nice. And then this is with no primer. I just had on the Road Glazing Milk. Also, something broke me out. I've been testing out a couple different things and I don't know what it is, but we have a couple active breakouts currently. So hopefully this foundation will be good for coverage. This feels really good so far. I actually love how subtle the glow is, but it does feel hydrating too. As far as gripping goes, I don't feel a ton of grip to the primer. Scale of 1 to 10, I would say 2 for gripping, so not much, but it is hydrating. Now let's go in with the foundation. It says achieve a flawless matte finish with our lightweight foundation, perfect for everyday wear. Long-lasting formula will keep your skin looking smooth and shine free all day. Apparently this brand too has a powder, which I did not know, but the Dollar Tree that I went to today didn't have the powder. They just had this. I'm gonna have to go to a different location to see if I can find any more stuff. I feel like every week too the products are different at the Dollar Tree. There isn't a lot of information about this though, even online. I don't know how true or accurate this is, but I figured I would share. I just thought it was a little fun fact. I just looked up who owns Pro Luxe Cosmetics, and it says Pro Luxe Cosmetics is a registered trademark owned by Profusion Cosmetics, which is really interesting because Profusion has affordable gems, such good products. And this definitely looks like something that could be at the drugstore for $10 or so. So I'm very curious about it. It comes with a pump. The packaging is super cute. So this is the color Linen, which now that I'm looking at it, it does look pretty light. And then this one is Bisque. Oh wow, they actually both seem pretty light. I actually think that they do oxidize a little bit. Let's let that sit and see what kind of color we get in a few seconds. These are both of them though. Again, we have Bisque and Linen. Not too bad. The undertone's not terrible compared to other Dollar Tree shades, which are usually very limited to, I would say, 1 to 3 colors. This is not terrible, and a lot of Dollar Tree complexion products can run very orange on the skin, so there is a little bit of oxidation, but as you can see, it doesn't darken to be too orange, which is nice. So it darkens a little bit, but not too crazy. I think maybe Linen might be a perfect match now that I look at it. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques 259 brush to blend that in. I love this one because it is flat and it's a little bit more dense. If you prefer a more rounded brush that's affordable, e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. They're different, but I like them both for liquids or cream products. So good. I actually also just washed my brushes, so we have fresh brushes. I'm going to use Real Techniques. I like this one because you could really stamp in your foundation and get such nice coverage because it doesn't absorb a lot of your product. There is sort of a powdery kind of fragrance to it. That looks really good. Like what? I'm gonna mix both of these shades that I have on the back of my hand since I have it here. Let's just not even waste any product. Yeah, it does seem pretty light, but it does oxidize. I would rather it be a little bit light though versus too dark or orange, because you can always darken it with a little bit of bronzer. So here are both shades mixed, Linen and Bisque. I think both of them are actually a really good match. I like the way that it looks. The undertone is actually pretty good. The formula is very hydrating. It's not as matte as I thought it was going to be. I don't know if it's because of the primer, but it does give a really pretty glow to the skin. Let's do the other side now. No primer. Let's see how this side's gonna get covered up, because this is where my breakouts are. I don't know. I woke up like this the other day and I'm like, what is happening? Can you guys hear that? I thought it was raining, but it kind of sounds like it's hail a little bit, like baby hail. I am so happy with how hydrating this foundation is, especially because it is a little bit thicker and more pigmented. I would say definitely don't do too much, because I don't feel like you need to do a lot. Even as much as I did is probably too much. I would say a pump of the foundation should be good. And maybe just apply a little extra wherever you feel like you really need it. But that looks so good. I actually love the finish of it. I think that's really pretty. Now let's try out the Ioni concealer. It says it's a caffeine infused liquid concealer. It's long wearing, full coverage, and it has a makeup brush applicator. I picked up the color Neutral Light Medium. Packaging looks like this, super cute. Come through Dollar Tree. They have really stepped it up in the last couple of years. It's insane. This is what the brush looks like. I like the undertone of this. I think it is nice and neutral. Let's see how these dark circles get covered up. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer brush. I love this for concealer because it's a little bit bigger and kind of angled. It's so good. I will link the brushes that I used down below. Also a more hydrating kind of product. I don't feel like it has a ton of coverage, but it does help to even out the under eyes and brighten a little bit, but I would say in a very natural way. I appreciate the creaminess of the concealer though. It does feel hydrating. Maybe I could have went down a color. I think the shade is a touch too dark. I can definitely still make it work though, so it's not bad. Okay, no pilling. Everything's looking really smooth. And here is the foundation and concealer combo. They're both very hydrating formulas and they give off more of that radiance to the skin. So powder is gonna be very necessary. I think it covered up actually pretty well though. The foundation for sure, and then the concealer is a little bit more on the natural side. I wish it was a little bit lighter, but it's still not bad. I love how it's not completely orange or oxidizing on my under eyes, so that's good. I'm skipping out on cream bronzer and blush. I'm gonna just go straight into powder, and I'm gonna do my Holy Grail drugstore powder combo. Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder for the under eyes and T-zone, and then I'm gonna use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop all over the face. Revolution Beauty under eye puffs. These are the best at the drugstore, truly. The concealer is not super bright, so I want to do some of this powder to brighten a little bit as well. I cannot get enough of this Wet n Wild powder. It is so incredibly smoothing. Eco Tools powder brush, and I'm going to use that NYX powder. My cap just broke on it. And this one is in the shade Light. I also use light medium sometimes as well. We're doing Essence Sun Club matte bronzing powder. This one's in Chocolate Sundae. It's one of my favorite drugstore bronzers. And let's do a little Dollar Tree brush. This one is from Sassy Chic. Really good for creams and powders as well. I cannot believe how good these Dollar Tree brushes are. I have a couple of them because they're super soft. I've had some of them too in my collection since the summertime and they're still going strong. These LA Colors blushes are so good. One of my favorite finds ever at the Dollar Tree. I feel like the formula too has gotten better within the last couple of years. These are my three favorite colors. I think I'm honestly just gonna mix. We have Peony Perfect, Sweet Cheeks, which is a beautiful hot pink, and then Creamsicle, which is a light peachy orange. I'm gonna start off with Creamsicle, and I'm actually gonna use that same bronzer brush for blush. I'm gonna start off light. These are really pigmented, so I do a little bit at a time. Add a little Peony Perfect with a little Sweet Cheeks in there. And if you missed it, I did do an updated full face of Dollar Tree makeup, but I discovered a really good Dollar Tree lip combo, and it is Ioni. This is the lip pencil in True Brown. It is a beautiful toned brown. I feel like this is gonna look good on so many different skin tones. Get your hands on this lip liner if you can. It is super creamy. It kind of reminds me of the e.l.f. Cream Glide lip liners, which I think they used to be $2. Now they're like $3. They're still really good, but these are, I feel like, very similar to those. Obviously the colors are different, but this is a great brown. And I'm gonna add the Lip Plumper Gloss from Ioni. This actually isn't as spicy as I thought it was going to be. It even says it on the packaging, but it's a very mild minty feeling, but nothing crazy. And this one is in the shade Carmina Pink. I love the way it looks with the brown lip liner. It's not sticky at all. It is so creamy. Now the lip liner is gonna come off when you eat and things. It's not gonna completely stay put and be transfer proof, but it is $1.25, so it's like not a huge deal reapplying. The eyeshadow look that I have on is the same one from my last Dollar Tree video, but I used this LA Colors quad in the shade Queen's Desire. Very similar to the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes, but this is the color I have on all over my lid, and then that brown in the crease. I'm trying to get all the natural light I can, but it is a very cloudy, gloomy day today. But how good does this foundation look right now? And the concealer. And I love how both formulas are very hydrating. Even the foundation, it's a little bit thicker, but with that dewy touch in there, I think it just makes it sit on the skin so nicely. I also feel like the side with the primer looks a little bit smoother versus without. I mean, the side without still looks really good as well, but I'm liking that primer. It's a very lightweight gel. It's not as tacky as the e.l.f. Power Grip, but it's still a nice formula, and it definitely gave some decent moisture. So it's looking good. Let me know if you guys can see a major difference between the side with primer, which is here. I love the way this side looks. I feel like it does, to me, look a little bit smoother than the side without, but you guys will have to let me know. I still think the side without primer though looks really nice as well. The foundation is impressive, I will say. It has some nice coverage. It feels lightweight. I wish the concealer was a touch lighter, and it doesn't have a ton of coverage. I would say it's a little bit more on the natural light medium side, but I still like it. It still evened out my under eyes, and it did a little something, which I appreciate. And I really like the creamy consistency of it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Be Pure Essentially Ageless concealer, but they have a couple more shades of Ioni, but very similar formulas. So I'm gonna wear this throughout the rest of the day. I'm gonna get a workout in and everything, because that is usually my ultimate test, because that is when I sweat the most. So I don't like to wear makeup when I work out, but when I'm trying out new products, I like to, just so I can really put the products to the test and see how they withstand heat, sweating, all the things. So let's regroup in a few hours and we'll see how everything looks. So here we are about a little over 7 hours later. No touch-ups. I did get my workout in. You'll see here in just a minute. My eyebrow melted off because I was sweating so much. Like, I had sweat dripping down my face. I'm actually shocked at the fact that there is still foundation left over. You can still see that blush coming through. The foundation did come off in certain areas. You can see right below my blush, around my mouth. It looks a little patchy just because it came off, but overall, this is not bad at all. And the concealer was also pretty nice, and it didn't excessively crease. And this is what it looks like on my phone. I'm so shocked. I actually have no words. This wore like a drugstore foundation, and it still felt comfortable after a full day. Another day, another wear test. I want to try the foundation again today. Yesterday I was highly impressed, and today I'm going to do that gel grip primer all over the skin because I really liked the way this looked on my right side yesterday. It's like the perfect amount of hydration without being too slippery on the skin. I really liked the way both shades yesterday looked mixed, so I'm gonna do that today. And today, since we're here playing around with it again, I'm gonna do one side with a brush, the other side with a sponge. I don't really use a sponge that often anymore. I definitely prefer brushes nowadays, but I do like a good sponge application every once in a while, so let's start with that actually, and then see how it looks. One of my favorite affordable sponges is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. I've been using this for years. At one point, this is all that I used for foundation, concealer, and my powder. I will say I did like the foundation a little bit more than the concealer. Still, you get also really nice coverage even with the sponge as well. I'm gonna do the other side with the brush to show you, but I really like that. It might be maybe a touch too light. Like, it could maybe be a little bit darker to match the rest of my body, but I don't think it's terrible. With this foundation, like I said yesterday, it's best to, I think, use a little bit of product at a time and maybe concentrate more on where you need it the most, because it is a little bit thicker, so I wouldn't do too much right off the bat. And I always like to paint the product in, especially when it is a little bit thicker. And that was the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, by the way. I'm going to use the same Ioni concealer from yesterday. My thing with this is I wish the color was a touch lighter and that it had a little bit more coverage, but it's not bad. I do, like I said, want a little bit more brightness, so I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer. I just want a touch of this because this is a little bit more full coverage and brighter. So this one's in the color Medium Neutral. So I'm going to do a dot of that up here and just mixing it in with Ione. I definitely don't even use my sponge that much for my under eye concealer. I do think I like a brush more for the under eyes. I'm gonna do the same powder combo as yesterday because it is really top tier, and I do think it helped a lot with keeping everything on my face and in place all day. And I didn't even use setting spray, actually. I forgot about that. I'm using the same powder puff from yesterday. I'm just gonna loop it through and use the other side. Now that I'm looking at my face, it looks a little ghost face-ish, so I'm gonna grab my light medium powder instead of light. Scraping the edges of this one literally, but we love her. She's so good. I think this is a little bit better, just so it's not completely ghost on my face. This brush, by the way, Laura Lee Los Angeles L11. I got it in a set, no longer available, sadly, but it's similar to that flat top brush that I showed you yesterday from Ego Tools. It's just a flat kabuki. Elf also has one like this as well. Let me finish up my makeup and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna do pretty much everything as yesterday. I might switch out the lip color, maybe. So I ended up doing the same lip combo as yesterday. I was gonna switch it up, but it is just too good. On the eyes, this is a non-drugstore product because it's just my go-to palette. Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Neutrals. I wanted to just do an all matte, really basic look today. Everything looks pretty good. I will say, out of everything that I used, the foundation to me is the top tier product. I don't think the concealer is bad, but it's not my absolute favorite. Wish it had a little bit more coverage, but it's not bad. You know, it gets the job done for what it is. If you want something hydrating with a little bit more light coverage, try the Ione concealer. Like I said, it's not bad. You might have to mix a shade or two. The foundation I love just because it does provide such nice coverage and it feels lightweight on the skin. I'm gonna skip out on setting spray again today just so we can see how everything looks with the primer. So I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we will chat and see what it all looks like. Here we are. It is almost 9 p.m. It's been a good 8 hours since I first applied everything. And this is what we're looking like. I haven't touched up. I just reapplied a little clear lip balm, but I got another sweaty workout in today, ate dinner, all the things. I'm honestly very shocked at this foundation. It didn't oxidize. I mean, I am shiny. I could use a blotting sheet and a touch-up powder, but for the most part, the foundation I would say is 80% on my face. It did come off in certain areas around my nose and mouth, a little bit around my hairline because I was sweating, like literally dripping sweat. I was patting my face with a paper towel, which is usually what I do, or with like a little washcloth, but the blush is still in place. I honestly never have issues with my blush fading for the most part, no matter where it's from. I feel like usually the blush is there to stay, so that's good. I really like this foundation. I cannot believe this is $1. So I feel like you can actually get some decent wear time with this foundation. The coverage is nice. It is a little bit more of a thicker formula, but it is hydrating. Even though it says matte, I do feel like it is a little bit more of a satin kind of finish in my opinion, but it's nice. Don't use too much unless you feel like you need to because it is thicker, but I also really enjoyed the way it looked with the sponge and the brush. I feel like both sides look really good, so either or. I also really liked both the brush and the sponge side. I think either or. Maybe with the foundation, since it is a little bit thicker, the sponge might be a nice option, but I really like both. I think I like the foundation too out of everything the most. The primer was not bad. This is very hydrating, but if you're looking for something more gripping with a tacky base like the e.l.f. primer, this is not it. It's just more hydrating than anything, but it wasn't bad. This Ione concealer also was not bad. I would say it's more light to medium coverage, but it is also hydrating and very creamy and blendable. So now I think I want to go back and see what else I can find from this brand because I am so pleased. If you guys have tried anything, let me know. Or if you've tried any good hidden gems at the Dollar Tree, let us know in the comments. I'm going to be doing another Dollar Tree run really soon. Maybe I'll do a little shop with me. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you love the Dollar Tree videos, then make sure to stick around and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon in my next one. Bye.